Hey, we are back for another episode.
Hi,
Um,
everyone.
Inspiration over ignorance. I'm Shanika.
Sarah.
I'm George. How y'all doing?
We got our shirts on. You guys see us, are we?
Merch.
Coming soon to you.
Yes, definitely.
We'll make sure we let you know when there's mass distribution.
Yes. We'll do so.
Okay. So today we have a fun topic. I think it's fun. I feel like for me, it's been the topic of me and a lot of my friends. I guess because we're in our 30s or late 20s, about dating and, how to be better at dating. I do feel like, men and women probably need work in that area. You guys are married, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. But it is definitely a topic of discussion in almost majority of my conversations that I have with my friends. Like, hey, how do you become better at dating? How are you making sure you're interesting? Of course you can only really just be yourself, but I do think there are some things that women as ourselves don't really know that we're doing that's contributing to a bad experience in dating. So I'm glad I have some experts here that kind of went through, did everything. So hopefully you guys can, kind of help me and some of the other girls out.
Right.
Absolutely.
You want me to start off? Huh?
Yeah, let's start from a man's perspective because I think maybe I don't know. Sarah probably still has some gems. Obviously, you were able to get out, you hooked somebody,
Right.
So for everybody, I met George when I was 18 and I'm 35 now.
Wow.
So we've been together for a while. But go ahead, babe.
All right. I would say for the guys, in my experience, I would say for me it would be criticizing your man. I think you have to always constantly be building your man. I think guys need that reassurance that hey, you got my back, or she's definitely down for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that plays in our head a lot when women are criticizing us at every turn on everything we do. You have to build us, even when we're not being the greatest.
Yeah,
still build us up so we get to that point where you want us at. So yeah. I think that's very important that women should definitely hear. Always build your man up, and he'll get there. You just have to stay confident that he'll evolve.
So, can you give us examples of some of the small things that women criticize men that they might think is insignificant? Because you say, even when we're not doing so well, continue to build them. Now, that's not easy. That takes patience. But I'm more want to talk about the smaller things that women do that they don't realize.
Smaller things.
Because with people like Neek, she's first starting to dating. She says she may not even realize she's doing some of these things.
True.
So,
smaller things that women do. I would say for women, I would say definitely give your man. Just be honest with him. Give him a chance to grow. I think women expectations sometimes. I think some women, their expectations just be a little bit too drastic. I think it should just definitely give them a chance to grow. Because we definitely, a lot of times we don't get it the first time around. So I think
I had this conversation with some of my friends about men, like when is a good time for a man to say that he's ready to settle down? Like, and I know it's of course everything is variables with certain people, where you are, how you brought up, what you want out of life. But from my experience, and even, having 3-4 brothers, my advice was, hey, allow a guy to grow and become who he is. Like, don't expect if he's in his 20s and he's still trying to settle on a job, or he just got out of college, or even if he is really stable and he's at the height of his life, don't necessarily pressure or expect that he should be ready to settle down. Because I feel like that's like a state as a man you have to come to. Like, women, we kind of like, hey, we got out of college, we're good. Yeah, even during college, it's like, hey, you want to propose? Yeah.
You guys are a lot more mature. You guys are, a lot of times, I mean, not all instances, but sometimes you guys are better with money. I mean, just all the way around. But I think you should just definitely let him grow and just build him up. I mean, and give him a chance. I mean, because that pressure of trying to get to that next level for a lot of guys, that's scary. And a lot of times it just scares them off, or it scares them into making bad decisions. So I think you kind of have to gauge your guy, because I mean, it's going to be different.
Everybody's different, yeah.
But I think if you're able to just gauge it and be like, okay, I don't think he's that ready, so I won't pressure him into talking about marriage or going to that next step.
Side note, we've been watching Crown, right? I just had to say this before I forget. So you guys are ahead of me. I'm like behind, but in the first season, when what's his name? He married Diana. I can't remember his name. It's not Edward. I can't remember. Charles. He married Diana, and they had this scene where they kind of was talking about, hey, I feel this way, I feel that way. And he was like, you don't build me up. You don't. And it's so crazy that you said that. It's like, hey, you date someone, you feel that they're very confident, they don't need you in that way because, hey, that's who you are, But it's interesting that, as a man, I guess as a woman too, you still want that person to, even though I know I'm doing well, hey, just tell me, like,
let me know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
And I ain't saying you're not gonna have any bad days, because guys are gonna have bad days. Women gonna have bad days too, but you just still have to give them that reassurance. Hey, I like what you're doing. Thanks for having my back on that. Or just something small. It could be something simple. She did something, paperwork for you for work or something. I mean, but just that reassurance that you're okay and that she got my back. I like that. I mean, I think
now, Sarah, I feel like I've heard you say, why should I, congratulate you on something that you should be doing? Have you ever said that, Sarah? I don't know why. Like, why should I, pump you up for something that, hey, this is what you do. Like, this is what
I feel like George likes to buy bad behavior with good behavior. But now I have learned to know that he is a wordsman, and he definitely needs words of affirmation. So I might put some comedy into it, and grab my kids and get him a Dad of the Year trophy.
I love it.
That might go a long way with him. I love it. But for someone that's dating, being a nurse, we're nurturers, and we tend to want to fix people. So it's hard for women to know when to stop, to try to fix the man when we are trying to build him. There's definitely a point where, it's at your detriment, and you just kind of got to leave him alone.
Wow.
So
that was deep, Sarah. That went real deep, real deep. I like it though. I like it. Sometimes you need to know, when, hey, this is beyond my scope. Like, I can't, where I can't, there's nothing I can do here. Nothing more that I can do here. Okay.
Another red flag we should be looking for that is, in the event of your relationship, whether it's marriage or whatever, in the event your mate goes cold. If she goes cold on you, and she's not engaged in the whatever argument or conversation, she's not trying to actually resolve the situation. That's sometimes in my experience, I take that as a sign of disrespect, because you're not taking the relationship seriously. You're not taking me seriously. It's almost like, hey, I don't care. Whatever happens. So that means you're not that serious about what we have. So
you're saying if I'm dating a guy and I don't really.
You just stonewall it, like
Yeah,
when
I'm
you
not
have an
engaged
argument,
in.
you just say, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to deal with it."
Now, could that be like for me? I don't like arguing at all. Like that's just
Oh,
it bothers me a lot. Like I'm more so like hey, everybody just calm down. If we can talk about it. If we can't, if you need to calm down, then you go your way. That's just who I am. Because I just don't like being upset. So I should watch that. I need to make sure. I don't want him to think that.
Guys would take that as you really.
Oh, she
you're really
doesn't
not
care.
that serious about me. She don't care.
Interesting.
So
I
what you have to
disagree
do
with
is-
George.
You disagree?
I disagree
Well, I'm
with
saying
him.
if it's in that instance, I mean, you just want to go ahead and resolve it as fast as you can. Like maybe it's talk it out. If you're gonna talk it out, but just don't go cold and say, "Hey, I don't want to deal with that." I don't think that's good for the relationship. That's just my opinion.
No, I think it's how you best cope with situations, and sometimes that might be dysfunctional or perceived as dysfunctional. But if that's what works for that person to prevent them from saying things that are hurtful and harmful, it just depends on where you guys are in your relationship. But what you are perceiving as cold just may be how she's coping at the moment, especially if it's just an isolated argument that you're having. If it's a constant pattern of coldness, and we're dealing with the whole another situation, but it's definitely important to circle it back. I don't think always talking it out right there, right then and now works for everyone, though.
That's interesting.
But so the reason why we kind of did this, because we got some feedback that we kind of were man bashing on our first episode.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of flipped the script and
Yeah.
are talking about red flags in women. So we're now on episode 5.
Mm-hmm. We
Let's
made
go,
it at
let's
least
go,
to
let's
5.
go.
I think
So we'll
that's,
keep it.
let's clap it up.
Right?
All the trials and tribulations.
So to lighten it up a little bit, so guys, if a girl says, "I don't have a lot of girlfriends, I just get along better with guys," that might be a sign to go ahead and run.
Run, please.
What is that? Well, what does that mean? As a man, what does that take as? And I want to know what Sarah feels like that.
As a man, that's telling me. So you mean you get along? You're easier. You talk to guys easier. You can relate to guys easier. That's almost like you're a big flirt to me. And you should be able to get along with women a lot better and cope with women a lot better. But the fact that you're able to get along with guys that easy, that's kind of scary to me, because I don't want to be around my guy friends and then you just talking in everybody's face. That's how I would contribute that to. Like
that would be a problem for you.
that would be a problem. That's a hard no.
But there's a happy medium, right? You want to be able to bring, Sarah's got to be able to hang out with the guys and
Right.
be cordial and be like, yeah, I feel comfortable bringing her around,
But there's also a fine line in that. So, I mean, you can also cross the line and talk too much and smile too much. And that line is real.
thin line.
Yes.
Are you looking for like a Stepford wife?
No,
That's
I'm
not what
not.
he's
I'm,
no, I know that's not what he's talking
I'm
about.
just saying.
So,
I'm just saying.
It's good to know.
so what I see is as if every relationship with a female becomes toxic or just ends bad, it says something about you. So whether you're the reason of it, I guess that's debatable. But yeah, women should be supportive of one another.
Yes,
so
it's
if you're
true.
not able to find that, is it an insecurity? And you're just relate more to men because they're not a threat, but the female is a threat. So
Self-reflection. That's
Not gonna happen.
that's huge.
Run, guys. Please.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I also have a topic that I'm seeing more and more now. I did not see this like a decade ago.
This is funny.
Custody of pets. So George or Nick, if you
Yeah,
meet
never.
someone and
I'm
they're
done.
like, "Oh, I gotta go pick up Georgie from Mark's house. We have custody of our German
Yeah,
Shepherd."
Yeah, we're not doing that, because to me, I put that almost on the same level as she's still talking to her ex every week.
Yeah.
That's how I contribute that to that.
Yeah.
Because you're still trying to hold on to those ties. And for me, that's a no.
That's a no.
It's over. It's over for
That's
you.
a no.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Are you dating? Come on now.
I feel like it's a way to hold on.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. For sure. I think for me, since I've been dating, I've been able to do a lot of, something I feel like has helped me, a lot of self-reflection, you know, trying to, you know, see what things that I do that may be annoying
Right.
or, you know, like just,
That's good.
because I think, like, I don't think us women, especially when I have a conversation, even with some of my friends, I'm like, wait, you don't think there was a problem with that? Like that's something that, so I feel like I've been able to do a lot of self-reflection and say, hey, you know, whether I really like this guy and I just didn't get that same vibe back, like, okay, what did I do? And it could have just been who I am, you know, just me as a person. So I never, you know, take anything personally, but I still am like, okay, so was it something I did? Like, or, you know, was I a little too aggressive or was I too emotional? Which, like, for me, I was in a relationship for a long time. So, like, being out of dating, oh, God, it's all the same. Like, it's almost as if, like, I saw this meme. It was like different stages of dating. And it was like, you know, if we're texting, that's we're talking, which that's nothing. And then it's like, we going together, like it's like 5 different stages to be with, like to be, you know. So it was like, hey, how in the world I can't, like, how do I navigate it? Like, I don't, you know, which I feel like the last time I really dated was probably, I guess, high school, early college. So it was like a really eye opener. And then people expect the relationship stuff from you while you're talking. So I'm like, it's like, wait, what? How am I supposed to, like, my friend, she was like, hey, once you see me naked, we going together. Like, I don't care what. It's over. Like, I don't care what you're saying about how it's supposed to go. You ain't asking me your girlfriend. It doesn't matter. Like, you see me naked, we together. Like, just go ahead and put me in the phone as GF. Like, we together. So, but
red flag.
But it's like, it is confusing as a woman dating and men expecting these things from you and us being clueless, you know, because I feel like, well, I can only speak for me and the people that I know that are dating. You know, women romanticize dating and meeting somebody.
Definitely.
And men, it's kind of like robotic almost, like, hey, you know, I like you, we cool, like we talking, like we chilling, like it's all chilling, talking, like, it's too much. And we're always 10 steps ahead of them.
Like everybody got their list.
Everybody got their list.
They're kind of like checking it off as
they're checking, right. And the lists are so far from each other. We definitely work with the same list, right?
On a whole other page.
We're on a whole other page.
And I'm thinking like,
he's thinking
I
something.
thought we're supposed to be here. But you know what? That's the thing. The dynamics of dating now is so different.
It is.
And the only advice I can give people at this point in this era would be with the speed dating. I call it speed dating now because of the internet and people just talking.
Right.
Talking. I don't know, whatever that is.
Right.
Because that's not really a relationship or whatever they're doing. So I would say be friends. Get you a friend first.
Yeah.
Somebody that you're attracted to, somebody that has the attributes that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And be friends.
Yeah.
For long as you can.
Yeah.
And that way you build a bond from the ground up. And so I think that's going to be the only way you can escape.
I'm going to be honest. After talking to you, that actually helped a lot because I was talking to you guys earlier, like I think, I feel like growing up, it's been a lot of emphasis just in the world on finding a mate and, you know, dating, getting married, having kids. Like that's all you see on social media. And, you know, people aren't happy unless they're, you know, and I feel like I've never really been that person. So I was always kind of back and forth with myself. And maybe just because I was always somewhat entangled into something.
Right.
But when I did get single, it was to the point where it's like, wait, I'm supposed to be focusing on getting married, right? I'm supposed to be focusing on, but after I talked to you, you were like, hey, just get a friend, like get some friends, get people you like. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like meet somebody I like, become friends. And then if things go further, then it does. If it doesn't now, I'm not all wrapped up into, nothing.
Yeah, because in my experiences, like I've had, before I met Sarah, I had a long-term relationship. And what I took from that I never forget was like, people change. And what people don't understand, it may not be the first 2 years. It may be year 4.
Yeah.
And they totally different person.
Yeah.
And it's like now you're out here dry. Now you got to start from square one.
And do you think change, or is it more so grow, evolve, become really find out who they are?
Or we didn't have a foundation from the jump. We just lusted at the beginning, and then we just got entangled to this whole situation, and then we just roll with it.
Which kind of happens when you're young. Yeah.
That happens a lot to people.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say definitely build you a bond with someone that you find attractive, that you have some of the attributes that you're looking for, and go for it.
Looks will go away.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you may not always have your health. So you gotta, at the end of the day, have to have someone you can talk to and communicate with and want to be around. You might love your girlfriend, but do you like her?
Oof.
So there's
crazy.
a difference.
Sometimes we don't know there's a difference between the two. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of people issues too.
Another thing, I was listening to someone and I can't remember who it was, but the lady mentioned about women, which kind of goes into the red flags, is that, when you're dating, especially when you're young, some women don't know themselves. So you are looking towards this person to love you and to give you these things that you don't even know, how to even voice it, to say, hey, I need XYZ in a relationship, or I need XYZ,
right,
from a guy that I'm dating, or seriously, thinking about being with. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting, because I feel like I was there. Like when you date when you're young, it's just like, oh, I like this person, and then you're together. But you never really found out who you really are. Like, or if you never really found out who you are, I can't say you don't, because some people do. But if you never really found out who you are, you're just kind of like on this never ending cycle of, being unhappy. You don't know why. And the person can't help you. You can't even help yourself, So I thought that was really good advice, that she was like, hey, find out who you are first. Find out what you need. Love yourself, and then possibly go into, getting someone else.
If you don't love yourself, you got to look yourself in the mirror. And what I tell a lot of my guy friends is like, man, look, don't be expecting from her what you won't do. Like, so if you're not out here living right or doing the things that you're supposed to do, don't be complaining to her. Bro, you got 3 different chicks in your phone. So how are you expecting her? So, and I think that's a trend too for guys. Like, they will expect the world from the girlfriend or whoever they married, but you ain't doing the right thing either. So, and I can't lie, I was one of those guys. I wasn't doing the right thing, so I had to grow up, and that's tough for a lot of guys. And sometimes guys don't grow up till after they 35, 38. Wow. So it takes a while, man. Yeah. It takes, so for some guys. But I had to mature and grow up and look myself in the mirror. And a lot of people can't do that and say, hey, you wrong. You need to fix yourself first. And everything else will work out for you.
Man in the mirror. Anything to add, Sarah? No?
No. I think we had some good red flags.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
All right. Well, thank you guys for going on this dating journey with us. I'm gonna say walk down memory lane. All right. Right. And I guess that's it. This is Inspiration Over Ignorance. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Everywhere we get your podcasts, come out every Thursday. We talk about life, family, and business.
Thank you guys.
Bye.